What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another swing trading, day trading technical analysis video on the NAS100. And I hope you guys have had an amazing week of trading during week commencing the 19th of February. So week just gone, right? Now, with that covered, we're going to get straight into the technical analysis for last week, how I moved in the market, as well as what I plan to do for this week coming, which is week commencing the 26th of February, right? So with that done, let's get straight into it. So first things first, the key areas that I marked out last week, okay, both of them have been breached. So last week, we basically had an okie doke, right? We basically had an okie doke last week where market decided to swing violently between the weekly high and the weekly low without giving a clear indication as to which side he really wanted to obey, right? So I'm gonna, first things first is I'm gonna bring in a separator, which is just to separate the previous week, the week that we made the content on, and how we navigated the previous week, which would have been this week just gone. So just gonna lock that into place, right? So like I always say in all of the videos that I've been releasing for the past few months in regards to the weekly highs and the weekly low, it is a system that will work in your favor, but it does require work, and it's not a plug and play system. You have to do the work on it, because literally there's going to be moments when it's going to play with you, and when it does, if you're following it correctly, you should be able to adapt yourself accordingly. But other than that, what can happen is you be getting false alarms, and it's going to be tricking you into situations that you shouldn't be getting yourself into, therefore making a mess. So what happened last week was a really good week for trading for me. I placed 2 trades and I won them both, right? And I'm going to explain the logic behind how I was able to do what I did, because I learned from the previous week, which was the mistake I made in this area. And you can go back to the last video and you can see the error that I made in this area over here, and however I made sure I did not repeat it over here, and then I took advantage of it over here again, right? So we're going to go into that. So Monday is taking place. Monday is a holiday in the United States, so price is consolidating. As you can see here, it's just consolidating, right? Now the weekly high was already set from the previous week, so let me just move this one back and let's just bring this one here forward, right? So the weekly high we're referring to is this one over here, okay? So at the start of Monday, I could see price was consolidating. I kind of wanted to get into the market, so I decided to put a pending sell order right below the range of the Monday, and if price did drop down, then essentially what would have happened was I would have got caught, I would have been triggered into the trade, and I would be able to ride it in the direction that price was moving in. So just to illustrate that, make that a little bit clearer for you guys, this was how the plan basically went. So it's consolidating. So somewhere during the day of Monday, right, I put a pending sell right here, right beneath this range over here, right? So as soon as price broke out of it in the early hours of the morning, right, I was in profit. So it's kind of nice to wake up to see myself in profit. It was really good, right? I definitely like that. So I've been triggered in. Price is flying down. I'm bringing in a trailing stop, right? And my trailing stop, obviously I'm marking out at key levels where I want the trailing stop to be. So at the end of the Tuesday, what I did was I brought my trailing stop to about this level over here, right? And then what I then did was I moved the trailing stop further down during that during the Wednesday. So this is Monday. This over here is Tuesday. This is when I entered the trade in the early hours of the morning. I was asleep when it happened, right? And then on a Wednesday, price was kind of playing games. So I was just moving my trailing stop to the nearest swing high of that particular trend. So first it was this one over here, right? This one over here. And then the second level for my trailing stop was this level over here, Okay, so it stayed like that all the way through, and then it got to the point where I kind of wanted to jump out, but I never actually did. Right, I never actually did. I just left the trading stop where it was. Right, then during the Thursday, so let's just go back into trading view. During the Thursday, okay, nothing really major happened on that day, but either way, price started to push up, violently. So what happened was I was triggered out of my trade. Right, I was triggered out of my trade, and I just left it as that. And the main thing for me, right, was this area right here. This area right here, which was the swing high of the Wednesday. Right? So the Wednesday swing high, the highest point of the Wednesday was this level right here. So when I woke up in the morning, right, I could see that price basically had done all of this. So it was up here somewhere, right? Neck and neck with the consolidation of the Monday. So what I did was I put in a buy right here. I put in a buy right there. So let me just use another. So this was my first sell. Stopped out via a trading stop right here, right? And this was my buy. And I was stopped out via a trailing stop right here, right? So 2 trades last week, won them both. The profits I wanted could have been better, but naturally, at least I didn't lose, right? So that's what happened. So now let's go into my thinking behind why I did what I did. So beginning of the week, the location from where the consolidation was, right, from the previous weekly high, right, the best guess, and this level here, this trade that I placed at this level, this was a guess. This wasn't due to anything. It was just based on the probability of price basically breaking down. Why? Because it was consolidating at the bottom, right? It wasn't consolidating in the middle, it was consolidating at the bottom, right? So I hopped in, and that's how I got that. Now, where it could have gotten super dangerous for me, right, was when price took out the weekly low. Because price took out the weekly low, right? And then at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to need to start dragging my trailing stop a little bit lower and lower, just to make sure I lock in more, because it's crossed the weekly low. It had pulled back up again, hadn't closed me out because I hadn't brought in a trading stop to lock in that zone yet, right? Then it started to fly down again. So in my mind, I was thinking, you know what, it's just going to keep giving more and more and more and more and more. But however, I had to be sensible in how I place my trailing stops. So placing the trailing stops at the swing highs of that current trend made way more sense to me than just basically letting it run. Because had I done so, based on the sell that I had in this location, I would have been closed out in a major loss. Right? And I'm pretty sure a few people got stung in that way. So weekly low has been taken out. I'm expecting price to go even lower, and then it flies all the way back up to the top side. And then if you look at this on the 15-minute, what that would say is that we had a close below, above the weekly high. So 2 things have taken place right now to give us conflicting data, okay? And the market can try its little crazy little moves, right? Okay, but once you understand what to actually look for, right, it's very hard for it to kind of get you, right? Because let's look at this for a minute. Weekly high has been taken out over here, weekly low has been taken out down here. All this situation took place in 1 week, right? So moving forward to where market is right now, okay, next week, this here is going to be the weekly high. This level right here is going to be the weekly high, okay? And this level right here is going to be the weekly low, right? Now, it has to do 1 or 2 things, right? It can either pull down, give us a discount, at which point we'll be looking in this area to see if you can find a really good fair value gap. Okay, so there's a few in this area right here, fair value over here, and there's one over here, and there's another one up here. So we've got a few areas of fair value where price can actually fly all the way down, okay, tap into that and go up, because it's basically said it kind of wants to go up, but at the same time it gave us a really strong break on the weekly low side, right, to say it wants to come down, right? So at this point next week, depending on how you want to play it, right, okay, and like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not giving you financial advice. I too am also learning how to navigate the market, but I'm just taking this game very, very, very serious, right, in terms of how I analyze. So swiftly moving on. So next week, the moves that we'll be looking for, okay, right, we'll be waiting to see if a weekly high or a weekly low is taken out. So I'm just going to draw little labels on that, right, little labels on here. So we have 18094.5, and then on the downside, just going to use this one, we have 17314.3, right? So these are the two levels that we want to see taken out. But however, we can make decisions based on where market is to predetermine if these levels are indeed going to get hit. Case in point, what I did in this area over here, because I didn't wait for a weekly low or weekly high to be taken out. I just looked at how far they were away from each other and made the educated guess to say that, hey, there is a high probability that it probably will break downwards, and I set myself up in case what I thought came true, and in my case it did, it came down. So if you look at what's going on up here right now, okay, so this is at the close of, this is Friday's market, how Friday looked, right? We can basically see that price is grabbing liquidity at the top from all of the newbies that are assuming price is going to go up. Why? Because it's going to fly all the way down and trap him, right? So they're going to be trapped up here holding buys when price comes all the way down here, okay, right? And if they're not shaking that by stop losses, it's just going to keep flying all the way down. And like I say, guys, if price flies all the way down, okay, and does not take out the weekly low, then essentially you can start preparing yourself to ride it all the way back up again. But however, in doing so, right, because looking at this, the situation over here, okay, there is a high probability price is going to be flying down. And also if you look at the situation over here, we have a strong confirmation that price closed below a weekly low down this level. So we kind of need to treat up here as a really good price to enter the market on a sell. But at the same time, it did take out a weekly high, right? It wicked through, right? It is a weak signal, but you cannot ignore that signal. So if you decide you're going to enter the market with a buy anywhere near these levels over here, be cautious how you do it, right? And if you decide you're going to enter in with a sell, once again, also be cautious with that as well, okay? Because we have an okie doke situation. We have a low that was taken out down here, and we have a high that's taken out here. So price is basically saying it can go whatever way it feels like it, all right? It can go whatever way it wants to go. And then also, let's look at what we're looking at overall in terms of overall trajectory. So the overall trajectory of market right now, okay? So right now, market is in an uptrend. It is in an uptrend, okay? So this is what we got going on right now. This is what we got going on right now. Okay, so when I kind of draw it out like this, right, it kind of gives you an idea, right, as to what the possibilities are in terms of what market could actually do. Just looking at this trend that we got going on right now. So let's just say I wanted this trend just to touch every single structure, I mean every single peak. So we can see we got a touch here, it kind of flies through it over here, and then we got it over here, and then we got it over here. Okay, so we have an idea as to where price is right now, the current shape is giving us at the close of market on a Friday, okay, which makes the probability of price flying all the way down here to maybe get to this weekly low quite high, okay? But however, once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm only just sharing my sketchbook with you. It's super important to do your own homework and own research to make sure everything you're watching right now makes absolute sense to you before you go and commit your hard-earned capital to it, right? I cannot stress that enough, right? So the probability of market going from where it is right now down here is quite high, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, that's what I think. But however, we're yet to find out, and we will find that out on week commencing the 26th of February. That's when we're going to figure out if I'm right or if I'm wrong, etc. But either way, I'm going to make sure that I'm well positioned in the market based on the type of information that I'm looking at, how I'm looking at it, and most importantly, one of the key things that I did in this area right here that I aim to replicate for the entirety of my trading career is to take my time and really assess where everything is before I start locking in trades. Even if I get it wrong, at least I can explain to a child how and why I did what I did. If you cannot explain to anybody why you took the trades that you took other than somebody told you to do it, you don't know what you're doing, and you need to stop, and you need to hit the link in the description and order one of those books I've put in there for you so that I can help you on the journey. It's super important you know what it is that you're doing. Most people don't want to read anything, right? But they expect to figure it all out. There's only so much you can get from videos, my friends. There's only so much you can get from videos, right? And I highly encourage all of you, find the money if you got it. If you got the money for trades, you've got the money for the books. Get the books. Education first, then you start practicing the moves, okay? Also as well, right? Also as well, some of these concepts I talk about, weekly highs and weekly lows, sometimes it really doesn't work well for newbies because they actually do not understand the market in the way that they're supposed to. It's nobody's fault. We all have to start somewhere. Once upon a time, that was me, okay, right? So what I've done is that right now you should be seeing another video for you to go watch, which is backtesting. Okay, so these are backtesting videos, some of them with indicators. The strategies in them, they work very well with the indicators, okay, but ultimately as you work with the indicators and you move forward, you're going to realize that you can actually do it without indicators, okay? But first things first, let's get you comfortable with the process, right? So make sure you go and hit that link at the end of the video. You should be seeing that right about now, okay? And follow through, and obviously enjoy the entire playlist. Go back test them all, make sure everything makes sense before obviously you start jumping into the live markets. So with all of that covered, my awesome people from all around the world, I want to give a big shout out to Sam Saud, right? I actually forgot to give him the shout out because I was just about to wrap up the video. So Sam, big up to you for dropping that comment on the video. Definitely appreciate you for doing that, right? And Sam, I look forward to seeing you on the next video, which is this video, right? Very, very soon. So until then, my awesome people from all around the world, this is Pips and Points signing out.